This pressure washer makes me feel foolish. But the reason it makes me feel foolish, I also think is interesting. So, at the expense of my pride, we're making a video. We went to Lowe's to get some building materials, and they had this pressure washer for sale. It didn't have a box, it was just sitting out there in the aisle. What I assumed happened was somebody bought the machine, they used it until either they didn't need it anymore, or maybe it quit working. They returned it for a refund, and the store decided to offer it for sale again at a discount. I wasn't in the market for a pressure washer, but the low price caught my eye. Seems like a good deal on the surface. Craftsman pressure washer. It's been spray painted white. Parts only was $389, marked down to $38.90. I don't think we should buy it. Do you think we should buy it?
I don't know.
It doesn't have much of the attachments. That's some of the attachments. Well, but look. Looks like it's never been used. So what drew me over to this was the price, but once I started looking at it a little bit closer, I could tell there was something funny about it.
Like the big white X?
Maybe it's got the plague. And underneath that, somebody spray painted this entire shroud. It's been used before. The oil is dirty, and the pull cord looks like it's been pulled lots of times, but I don't think this wand has ever had water through it. Same with the hose. I wanted to buy it so I could solve the puzzle of what was going on with it, but I've already got so many other unfinished projects, I don't need another one. So we walked away, continued with our other shopping, and tried to decide what to do.
Are you thinking about the pressure washer?
A little bit. I was actually leaning toward not getting it.
You really couldn't help yourself, could you?
Couldn't help myself. Craftsman pressure washer. Whoops.
Oh, get your hose. I feel like I should go behind you, picking up all the parts that fall off of it.
Yeah, look at this. We're already... Oh. Whoa.
Regret?
Yeah, a little bit. This is something. Okay. It's a mystery. If nothing else, it's a mystery.
Ooh, let's figure out what happened to it.
And that's how this machine came into our life. I was happy with the purchase. The paperwork said parts only, so I assumed it didn't run, but I got a good deal on it. In fact, I was even able to talk them down a little bit more from $38.90. I thought we could make a couple videos about this and hopefully get a working pressure washer. I didn't understand the true nature of the situation though. My first glimmer of reality happened when this shroud got folded back and I saw that the entire engine had been gone over with a wire wheel to make it look nicer. Except that in the hard to reach places, there's the type of corrosion and rust that could not exist on an engine that's almost brand new. So that confused me. The moment of clarity happened when I discovered that even though most of the machine is painted black, it was originally green. When I saw this, I felt pretty dumb, camera girl. We got wrapped up in a con job. I grabbed my receipt, went to the Lowe's website, and typed in this model number for the pressure washer that I supposedly bought, and here's what came up.
Oh, there's a discrepancy.
That's not the same thing as what I got. The handle matches, but the motor is different, the frame is different, the wheels are different. Seems so obvious now. I was caught up in the moment though, blinded by the bargain. You might even say I was delirious. What I think happened here was somebody had a worthless old pressure washer and they came up with an idea to trade it in for a new one. So they went to Lowe's, bought a new pressure washer, cleaned up the one they already had and painted it to match the new one, switched the handle so it would look convincing, and then rolled their decoy right up to the returns counter and sold this to Lowe's for $389 plus tax. I think that's a pretty good scam. They got Lowe's.
They got us!
I think Lowe's eventually figured it out too. And that might have something to do with this X on the top of it. I thought about returning it to the store because it's not what I thought it was, but that would be an action of surrender and shame. So I couldn't do it.
I think that would be the action of being smart.
Honor beats intelligence every time. So we're keeping it. Right now this is just a ball of negative energy, deception, fraud. But we can turn it into an item of entertainment, education, and possibly pressure washing. I don't have high expectations for that last one though. Anybody that would spend this much time making something look good just to get rid of it doesn't suggest that it's a properly functioning machine. Should we find out for sure though?
Yes.
First thing I'll do is take off this shroud. Look at that, it's still green underneath. Makes sense though. Usually the side facing the sun gets right first, doesn't it? It's got a little bit of oil in it, but I'll add some to bring it up to the right level.
Why don't you just drain it?
I'm not willing to sacrifice that much oil on this thing yet.
Okay.
Check it. I think that's good.
Did you see this? What's this thing?
That is an overextended throttle spring.
Oh, so that's important.
This is the throttle valve, and the spring probably attaches to this linkage, so when you move it, it changes the speed of the engine. There's a hole right here that looks like it'll fit into, so we'll call that good for the time being. I noticed over on the other side, the fuel line isn't connected. I won't ask any questions and just try to put it back where it goes. This might be a waste of time. It's got oil, the throttle's connected. Let's put some gas in it. I'll just add a few drops at first because there's a good chance whatever I put in here will leak out somewhere. I'm watching specifically on the bottom of the carburetor. See anything? Or are we dry?
I think you stayed dry.
Good to know. So either no gas is getting to the carburetor or it's working like it should.
Would you like to make any predictions?
About what?
The project.
I think that we will be able to make it run, but I don't feel that there's a good chance that the pressure washer part will still work. If you run these dry for just a few seconds, I think they can get ruined. And I don't think this has had meticulous care throughout its life. What do you think? I'll add some more gas in here now that I know it's not all going to end up on the floor.
Well, I usually think you can get anything running.
Well, that should be enough.
Yeah, it's full.
Your words are so captivating.
I think you'll get it running, but it's going to be expensive to fix.
All right. So it's got gas now. Last thing to do before giving it a pull is hook the water up. Just in the rare event the pump isn't devastated. There should be a washer there.
It's missing a part?
Maybe that's the only problem. We're missing a washer. I should have one. I think that's right. Yes. So we'll hook up the hose. Hook up the high pressure side. This really feels like wasted energy. I'm just saying that up front.
Oh, I was feeling optimistic.
I hope you're right. Now turn on the water and check for leaks. Hopefully water doesn't spew out of the gas tank when I do this.
It is leaking a little.
Well, that's just our hose.
Oh.
So you couldn't ask for a better leak. Purge the air out of the system. Water looks clear coming out of it. I don't see any bugs or rust. Okay, I think when I try to pull this, it'll build pressure, So maybe you can just hold this wide open when I pull. You need to push this button and then pull the trigger.
This is a lot to do. Oh, I can do this.
Okay. And we'll choke it. Engine's not froze up. We didn't check for spark.
No.
Okay. Second pull? Are you kidding me?
There's not much pressure. Is there supposed to be pressure?
So I'll take it off the choke now.
It smells horrible.
It runs though. With no pressure, I don't think. How do you turn it off? Okay,
I can't believe it works.
that's pretty good. It runs. It doesn't work yet. It didn't seem to build pressure, but that could be just because it doesn't have one of those tips on the end. It so happens I've got some over here. This is another pressure washer I bought at Lowe's about a week after the first one, and it's the real deal. If I would have seen this prior to buying the fraudulent one, I would have known right away to stay away from that. But water under the bridge. Pressurized water under the bridge. So I'll put one of these in here, screw this in. Now that'll make you feel a little bit more powerful. Same test. I'll start it up and hopefully that'll blast off. Does it feel like it's getting pressure?
Yeah,
I think it works.
I think so.
I think that counts as working. Could you feel it pushing back?
Yeah.
Why did they do that though? Why the deception?
I don't know.
Maybe they just wanted the new and improved version. The only problem I've noticed so far is that no matter where I set the engine speed control, it just wants to idle. To get the motor to rev up, I had to manually move the throttle valve over here. So there's something wrong with that linkage. Could be this worn out spring. I'll get on the computer and see if I can find a diagram of how it's supposed to look. Well, I couldn't locate a diagram, but I found a picture of what looks like a very similar machine, and it has the spring connected to this big hole on the top. So that's good enough for me. I need to shorten the spring though, since it's been stretched out. The way this system works is there's a mechanism inside the motor that puts increasing pressure on the throttle to close as the engine speeds up, which makes it want to idle all the time like what just happened. But the spring pulls in the other direction, opens the throttle, and revs up the engine. So the tighter the spring, the faster it goes.
So how long does it need to be?
That's a question I can't answer.
Exciting.
I'll make a guess, hook it up, see how it runs, and we'll fine-tune it from there. How's that?
Oh, that's a guessing check.
What?
We did that in junior high. In math. Did you do the guessing check?
I don't think I made it as far as junior high math. I'll stick to bending wire with pliers. You can be the academic. Getting the spring hooked into these holes is fiddly. I'm trying to make it look graceful though.
How's anyone supposed to see with your hairy hand in the way?
I'm crimping this down so it doesn't get caught on anything. Okay, start that up, see what happens. What we're looking for is at the high speed setting, maximum tension on the spring, right there. The engine should be turning about 3,500 RPM.
But how are you gonna know?
Listen for that. All right?
Okay.
Here we go. I think that's a little bit too fast.
Is it okay?
I'll release a little bit of pressure on the spring and go again. Hopefully that's just the cheap paint burning off. We'll say it's the cheap paint burning off. I'll loosen up the spring just a little bit, and that ought to calm it down. It was pretty close already. It wasn't running at a ridiculously high speed. And we don't need to keep it at full throttle all the time either. Did you notice it started first time?
Yeah.
Can't believe this thing. I don't think I need to choke it again. So, here we go. Smokes a little bit, clatters a little bit.
Fits right in.
It's a working pressure washer. Next things to do are put the shroud back on. I need to order some nozzles. The air filter is also missing, so we need to get one of those. I noticed on the gas tank, there's a date code of 2002. This is 18 years old, and yours truly confused it with a new one.
Oops.
Easy mistake to make. Anyway, I'll get those parts, put it all back together. Next video, we'll do a little pressure washing, and I've got a surprise to tell you about too. I don't need 2 pressure washers, and I haven't even started messing with that one yet. But we'll talk about that later. It's hot out here. I could use a pressure washing myself.
What do you say, son?
Sure.